What is up, everybody? Clock blockers, time team, time bandits? Maybe? Probably not the last one. We did it! We got both lifeboats. The mothership loaded everyone in four at a time, evaded those dastardly Rittenhouse sleeper agents, and brought the whole cast of Timeless back for one more trip through time. My name is Alex Zalbin. I'm managing editor of Decider.com, and I am more excited than Gia getting a mid-condition original Rubik's Cube to be the moderator for this event. A couple of orders of business before we start. As part of this timeless evening, you're going to have a reading of Season 2's Hollywoodland with some special bonus material. We're also going to answer your fan questions with the casting crew after the reading. So I see so many of you have done this already, but get those Q&A set questions in before the reading ends, down at the bottom of the Zoom in the Q&A section. We'll go through and we'll answer as many of those as we can. To that point, since there are so many of you watching from all over the frickin' world, we'd love for you all to limit yourselves to one question each so we can get to as many people as possible. And in fact, thanks to the hundreds of you watching this, I am delighted to announce that this is the most successful pay-per-view event ever in history, raising over $30,000 to benefit Feeding America. You did that, clock blockers. You did it. All right, seatbelts on, everyone, because we're going to officially kick this off, welcoming co-creators and executive producers of Timeless, Eric Kripke and Sean Ryan, into this year's Zoom right here, right now. Hello, I see Eric there. Hey, Eric, and I see Sean. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for everyone for being here. This is amazing.
Absolutely incredible. And I mean, let's kind of kick it off with this. This is a lob across the plate, but I'm not sure if you guys are aware, the show has been brought back from the dead a couple of times here, at least in large part thanks to the fans, I think. And now here we are again 2 years later. What do you think it is about this show in particular that keeps drawing the fans back time and time again?
Sean?
Well, listen, I think people love the characters. I think people love to go to those historical moments, and I think that they feel like they have friends in Lucy and Wyatt and Rufus and Agent Christopher and even Flynn, who was a bad guy for half our series before kind of switching into a good guy. There's something. I mean, I don't want to sound egotistical saying this because I was half in charge of the show, but there's something magical about this show that really appealed to fans. And we were aware of that from the beginning. And, I always I always sort of sincerely mean that the show isn't canceled, it's in hibernation. And I hope that at some point, Timeless will come back out of hibernation in some form. It's come out of hibernation for tonight. So that's amazing. And now I'm going to throw it to Eric. Maybe he'll have a better answer than I did to that question.
There's no better answer. No, the fans, this has been an exceptional fandom. And as a guy who's written a couple sci-fi things and have a couple groups of fans, this is a remarkable fandom. They're well educated, they're curious, they're fascinated to learn more about history, they're committed to the characters, putting good into the world. It's been a joy to have this group. Not every group sends airplanes flying over Comic-Con. It's just an objective fact. Yeah. So
or sends cupcakes for your season premiere table read. I remember getting those cupcakes. Those were amazing.
Those were good cupcakes.
Well, so tonight we're going to do a reading of Hollywoodland. That's, I believe, the third episode of season 2. It's an awesome episode, but I'm curious to hear from you guys why this episode in particular. Big stuff happens in it. Fans know that, but why did you think this would be an interesting one to do for the reading?
I was trying to think of something that would have good dialogue. I wanted something fun. We have some episodes I love that are very serious and tragic, but for this event, I felt like we should have something that was a little bit more optimistic. Who doesn't want to hear Abigail sing a little bit, which she gets to do in this episode? There's some romance, there's some twists. So I went back and forth and discussed with the partners, and I don't know, if I'd had 2 more days, maybe I would have chosen, or we would have chosen a different episode. but this all happened very fast. It came together very fast because we knew we needed to assemble a cast, and so this is the one we picked. And judging from the rehearsal that we had earlier today, I think it's a really fun one.
I don't know if you want to spoil this part because obviously everybody's going to be watching it very quickly, but there was a tease that there's going to be some additional bonus material. I think fans will figure out what it is pretty quickly, but
well, there's a couple things, we picked this, and then as we were going through the cast, I realized, oh my God, Emma's not in this episode, and that it didn't feel right, and so I made the suggestion to our partners. Well, what if we could get Annie Wershing to read the stage directions? And then when she agreed, I thought, well, it's sort of a waste just to have her read the stage directions. So we wrote what we realized would be fun was if there were moments where maybe Emma was commenting on the stage directions. Let me put it that way. And so we wrote some material for that. And then also one thing people may not realize is that our first cut of this episode was pretty long. And so we actually had to trim some scenes and material and some action stuff that have been maintained. The script that we shot, that's what we're reading today. Some of these things got cut. So there will be some moments and some things that are different than how people saw it in the final cut because we had to trim something like 4, 5, 6 minutes to get down to it. So if you've seen the episode, which I assume most people here have, I think you'll recognize 95% of it, but there'll be 5-10% new stuff that hopefully it'll be fun for you.
It's pretty awesome. I can say from watching the rehearsal, and I'm very excited for everybody out there to watch it. To that end, I'll be back afterwards to help with the Q&A portion. But for now, I'm going to kick it over to Sean to introduce the cast.
Yeah, we just want to give you the cast list. So appearing tonight, Lucy Preston, played by Abigail Spencer. Wyatt Logan, played by Matt Lanter. Rufus Carlin, played by Malcolm Barrett. Garcia Flynn, played by Goran Visnich. Agent Denise Christopher, played by Sakina Jaffrey. Connor Mason, played by Patterson Joseph. And Gia, played by Claudia Dumit. We were able to get most of the people who appeared as guest stars in the actual episode have volunteered their time today. We want to thank them for reprising their roles. That includes playing George Antheil, Bo Bryans, playing William Randolph Hearst, John Colton, playing Officer Hank Wilson, Matthew Downs, playing Barney Balaban, James Dumont, playing the Roman chariot driver, and wait till you see this guy today,
right?
Jordan Ferris, playing the security guard, Chris Gann, playing the director, Chet Grissom, playing the doctor, Ravi Naidu, playing Michael, Josh Randall, and playing Barney's secretary, Mary Weiss. Now, there were 2 actors that appeared in the episode itself who sadly were unable to be with us tonight. They send their greetings. Teddy Sears played Lucas Calhoun, and Alyssa Sutherland played Hedy Lamarr. We are so fortunate to have a couple of amazing actors, one of whom you know from The Timeless Family, who are filling in for those roles today. So Corey Michael Smith is here to play Lucas Calhoun tonight, and the wonderful, amazing Chantel Van Santen from the pilot episode of Timeless has switched roles completely. She's switched accents, and she is here as Hedy Lamarr. And finally, the great villainess herself, playing Emma Whitmore and narrating tonight's episode, is the wonderful Annie Wershing. And with that, we hand you over to the table read for this episode. Thank you so much for coming up. I've watched the chat. You're from all over the world. To the person saying they're from Northern Illinois, I'm from Rockford. Great to see you. And here we go, and welcome. It's on to you, Emma.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and fade in.
Timeless, episode 203, Hollywoodland, written by Matt Whitney, directed by John Showalter. Rittenhouse continues to thrive, but not without annoying temporary resistance. The return of our great leader, Nicholas Keynes, has inspired all of us, though, and Well, we have suffered setbacks at the hands of Lucy Princess Preston, Wyatt Logan, and Rufus Carlin. They struggle to keep up with us and our mothership, and can only guess what we have planned next. They chase us across historical battlefields and political arenas, but we have now sent a sleeper agent to the seat of true power in this world, the place where imagination is unleashed, where dreams are made and dashed, where hearts and souls are one. External Hills, night. In a clearing, Lucas, 18, holds his old suitcase. His father, Michael, 38, faces him.
You'll be fine. Just stick to the plan. Remember your training and make us proud, son.
As they hug, camera moves around them to reveal the mothership in the clearing. Hidden amongst the trees, Michael smiles at his son, then turns and walks toward it. Lucas watches as the door closes, the rings spin, and whoosh, the mothership disappears, leaving him there alone. A beat as Lucas takes in his surroundings, looking up at the original Hollywoodland sign on the hill. Dissolved to External Paramount Pictures Day. Lucas, 15 years later, on a movie set wearing a sharp suit, he looks pained as we reveal what he's watching. A Roman chariot driver whips at the air in front of a fake backdrop. Two men crouch next to the chariot, shaking it to create movement.
Yeah, faster a train! We must win or my family will die! Yeah, giddy up!
Cut! Roman charioteers do not say giddy up to their horses.
Right. Sorry, I just finished a Western.
Let's try it again.
We're shutting you down, Bob.
What? We just started filming.
And you're already over budget.
You can't.
I can. It's a lousy picture anyway, just like your last three. We're pulling your leads for a television show.
Television? Ugh.
The future.
The director leaves. Lucas calmly lights a cigarette.
That's a nice suit.
Lucas turns to find Michael standing there smiling, and he aged a day. Lucas hugs him.
Dad. Sorry, it's been a while. Look at you. You look so young.
Only been a couple months for me. And look at you.
Producer at RKO.
You've done well, son. Very well.
So if you're here.
We found Nicholas Keynes, plucked him right out of World War I.
My God, what's he like?
More brilliant than we could have hoped. He's mapped it out. He has a plan for all of us. It's time to play your part. You up for it?
I'd die for this. With a smile on my face, you know that.
Proud of you.
What can I do?
Internal bunker, control room day. Gia's working on a computer when suddenly her eyes roll back and she drops to the floor. Gia's vision. Quick pop of Rufus, a gun, an angry mob, a dead man dressed like he came over on the Mayflower. Agent Christopher sees Gia on the ground, rushes over.
Gia!
Gia opens her eyes, tries an awkward smile, but Agent Christopher is having none of it as internal bunker common area day. An angry Agent Christopher faces Rufus, Mason, and Gia.
You're saying this has been going on for months?
Ever since her trip in the lifeboat.
And none of you, not one of you thought to tell me about it?
Gia made us promise not to.
What? Why?
I didn't want you to bench me from the team. You probably think that I'm expendable, but
Yeah, no one here is expendable, not to me. But you need a doctor.
Why? What's the point? I mean, unless you have one that specializes in time travel-related illnesses?
She's got you there.
You're not the least bit concerned about this?
Re-entry issues. It's like an astronaut returning with space sickness. I'm not sure it's nothing to worry about. Seizures and hallucinations are nothing to worry about?
I'm not so sure they're hallucinations.
What does that mean? What are they? What are you seeing?
I'm not sure. It's hard to explain. But trust me, I'm okay.
Yeah, this could be serious.
Guys, please stop. I appreciate the concern, I really do, but I actually have to get back to work. So if everyone would please just lay off of me.
An alarm sounds.
Saved by the bell.
Internal bunker control room moments later. Lucy and Wyatt join Rufus, Gia, Agent Christopher, and Mason. Gia's at the computer.
Where did the mothership go now?
January 2nd, 1941, Los Angeles.
Well,
I don't know. Hitler's in power. Europe's engulfed in World War II.
What does that got to do with LA?
I don't know. But I know who might.
Internal Federal Prison, Hospital Wing, Exam Room, Day. Garcia Flynn winces, being tended to by a doctor, bandaging a knife wound in Flynn's lower back. Agent Christopher and Lucy enter as the doctor finishes up.
There, all finished. You'll stay the night for observation. Enjoy the luxury accommodations.
Yeah, thanks, Doc. I'll try to get attacked more often.
Doctor exits, leaving the three of them alone.
Good to see you.
What do you think?
Rittenhouse in here? Impossible.
Oh, you're probably right. Well, even though we hadn't met, I'm sure the inmate who stabbed me at breakfast with the spoon shank had a very good reason.
Well, where's he now? We should talk to him.
Might be difficult. He's dead.
How?
I severed his carotid artery. But it's so nice of you to come check on me, though.
That's not why we're here.
Let me guess then. Rittenhouse took another trip.
January 2nd, 1941, Los Angeles.
Do you have, any ability to do this on your own?
You want to stop Rittenhouse as much as we do, so help us.
Absolutely. Once you get me out of here.
No.
You're on your own.
I can put in a request for a private cell. Maybe get you limited internet privileges.
I don't want a Netflix subscription. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Look, Rittenhouse will send someone else and then someone else, and they won't stop until I'm dead.
I'll see what I can do, but I don't have the authority to.
I can get you out.
Lucy.
If you tell us what Rittenhouse is doing in Los Angeles in 1941.
Why should I trust you this time?
Because as much as you need us, we need you more.
Do either of you have a pen? I need to draw it for you.
Off Lucy and Agent Christopher wondering what Flynn's up to. External Hollywood Hills Day. Shot of the Hollywoodland sign, and whoosh, the lifeboat lands behind the oversized letters. External Paramount Pictures Bronson Gate Day. Lucy, White, and Rufus walk down a path in period clothes.
So this is how we do it? Just steal clothes wherever we go, like a Winona Ryder pre-Stranger Things?
At least there's no security tags. Not until the 60s.
Think Flynn's messing with us?
He gave us what he had.
No, he drew us a damn Pictionary clue.
He says he found the same drawing on a Rittenhouse agent dated 1941.
So now Flynn says jump and we jump.
If he's playing us, we play him right back and let him rot in prison.
I don't think he's playing us.
Lucy holds up a piece of paper comparing Flynn's crude drawing of a mountain with a halo of stars to a plaque with a similar mountain and stars, the 1941 Paramount logo.
Why would Rittenhouse send someone to a movie studio?
Who doesn't want to be famous?
Camera pulls back to reveal the famous Paramount Pictures archway, off the three of them taking it all in. End of teaser. Act 1. External Paramount Pictures backlot day. Lucy, White, and Rufus emerge from a bar, which we reveal is a movie set, having snuck into Paramount Pictures. As they dust themselves off, fixing their clothes, they look around at all the action on the studio lot.
Maybe Rittenhouse gave up their plans for world domination to pursue showbiz.
Aren't we supposed to find whatever we're supposed to find in a place this big?
We're looking for the sleeper agent, someone hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, which could be anyone, so stay alert.
They come face to face with a security guard, Officer Hank Wilson, holding a clipboard.
See some ID.
Oh, we already checked in with the guy at the gate.
Yeah.
I am the guy at the gate.
Oh, I meant the other guy at the other gate. Mm-hmm.
ID? Do you know who I am? I am Langston Hughes.
Oh.
I don't have you on my list.
Well, then clearly someone made a mistake. I was nominated for an Oscar for Way Down South.
You were?
No, he wasn't, actually.
Well, I should have been. I was robbed. And now, adding insult to injury like this.
Who are you here to see?
Who? I'll tell you who. The president of the studio.
Barney Balaban.
Barney Balaban! And you're making us late.
We'll see about that. This way.
As he leads them away. Internal bunker, control room, day. Mason and Gia are at the computers when Agent Christopher enters, approaching Gia.
I have a doctor coming to see you. He knows about the seizures, not the time travel.
I don't like doctors.
Who does? But you need one.
Can't decide for herself.
I don't recall asking for your opinion on this.
Look, my dad was having back pain, so we went to see a doctor, and he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. 2 months later, he was gone. If there's something wrong with me, I don't want to know about it. Okay? I just want to live my life.
Whatever the doctor says is causing these seizures, we'll deal with it and make you better, okay? I promise.
Off Gia, only slightly comforted. Internal Barney Balaban's office day. Officer Wilson stands next to a secretary, both of them suspiciously eyeing Lucy, Wyatt, and Rufus.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hughes, but I don't have a meeting scheduled for you.
That's what I thought. Come on.
Wait! I'm making a musical comedy based on my book, The Ways of White Folks. These are the white folks. Brilliant actors, both of them. The next Bogey and Bacall.
Bogey and who?
Frank Fairbanks and Pickford.
These people are wasting your time, ma'am.
Just then, the door opens and Barney Balaban, 54, president of Paramount Pictures, enters, surprised to see them all.
Hello there. What is all this? I thought my afternoon was free.
Mr. Balaban, I am Langston Hughes. I have never been treated so poorly in my entire life. Maybe I should take my film over to MGM or some other studio.
Barney approaches Rufus, a beat as we wonder if he's about to have them kicked off the lot, then shakes his hand.
Langston Hughes, real honor to meet you. Let's hear about this new film of yours.
Rufus casts a sneer at Officer Wilson as he exits with the secretary. As Barney crosses to his desk, Lucy whispers.
Langston Hughes, the father of the Harlem Renaissance? You think you can pull this off?
Who knows what writers look like?
Time cut to Lucy, Wyatt, and Rufus sit on sofas, drinks in hands, as Barney pours himself another scotch.
Hamilton? As a musical? It'll never work. What else have you got for me?
Oh, about thriller. About a secret cabal named Rittenhouse.
Who try to bend history in their favor? That sound familiar?
At all? Maybe?
Yes. Very familiar. Too familiar. Because secret cabal conspiracy theories are overdone. I want something different, but the same. And that sells, but wins awards.
Rufus is about to respond when the door flies open and Hedy Lamarr, 27, makes a dramatic entrance. She's stunning.
Barney, I can't do this picture. I won't. Have you read the latest rewrite? The writing is more tragic than Hamlet.
So we'll get a new writer. They're literally dime a dozen. I mean, we have a great one right here. This is Langston Hughes and actors from his latest musical.
Logan and Preston.
Right, Logan and Preston. I'm sure you all know.
Hedy Lamarr? You are even more glamorous in person.
Thank you, dear, but any girl can be glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid.
Oh my God, that's right. I say that all the time. you are so much more than that, though. So much more.
Thank you.
See you at Beverly House this evening?
Sadly, yes. George is forcing me. Personally, I would rather have my teeth cleaned.
Barney's phone rings.
Excuse me a moment. Hello? Hold on. What do you mean RKO 281 was stolen? I know we share a wall, but I'm not closing the Paramount gates because RKO lost a picture.
He slams down the phone, ushering us all out the door.
Excuse me, everyone, little emergency. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Hetty, we'll speak more tonight. Get me Schaefer over at RKO. This is his problem.
She picks up the phone as he slams the door shut. External Paramount Pictures sound stages day. Lucy White and Rufus walk past showgirls, soldiers, and cowboys. The lot's abuzz with activity.
RKO 281 is the code name they used for Citizen Kane. It was shrouded in secrecy. Orson Welles was cutting the film until the very last second. And this is when you actually cut the film and taped it together piece by piece. There was only one copy.
Did it ever go missing?
Not that I know of, until now.
Hold up. You think Rittenhouse stole Citizen Kane?
Who else could it be?
Yeah, but why would they want to?
It is an amazing movie.
Oh, yeah? Never saw it.
You never saw it?
Sorry.
Lucy.
Well, there
Crazy.
was who wanted to. Wait, it's so crazy. Yes, there was someone that wanted to kill Citizen Kane. William Randolph Hearst owned dozens of newspapers, read by more than 20 million people. The movie's pretty much about him and his mistress, Marion Davies. So
you think he's involved?
I don't know. Hearst hated Wells for making it. Maybe we can find out. He's having a party tonight.
You know Hearst's party schedule?
Barney and Hetty said they're going to Beverly House tonight. That's the nickname for Hearst Beverly Hills Mansion.
Well, we're gonna need nicer clothes.
Wyatt motions to a door with a sign, Costume Department. He tries the door, locked, pulls out a pocket knife. Lucy and Rufus keep lookout as Wyatt picks the lock. Okay, wait, seriously, wait, where is the security at all of these places? Can Rittenhouse never catch a single break with these people breaking in every place and stealing clothes and stealing equipment? Come on. Anyway, Wyatt keeps trying to pick the lock.
Hedy Lamarr, isn't she famous for like getting naked in some movie in like the 30s?
Oh, she was known as the most beautiful woman in the world, but she's also a scientist.
Beautiful, naked scientist? That's got to be made up by someone like me.
She patents frequency hopping for radio-guided torpedoes and basically invents Wi-Fi.
How did I not know this?
Most people don't. She let the patent expire in 59 and the Navy used it in 62. It's a shame. She never saw a penny from it.
Click. Wyatt's successful, swinging the door open. Of course he's successful. Show off.
All right, let's make this quick. No browsing.
As they all sneak inside. External Paramount Pictures backlot day. Michael meets with Lucas by his car in a private location.
Keep it hidden, son. They're scouring the lot looking for it.
Reveals 6 large film reels of Citizen Kane in Lucas's trunk. He closes it, turning to his father.
What if Carol's daughter shows up?
I'll take care of Lucy and her friends. You finish the mission.
External Beverly House, driveway, night. A grand drive leads up to the Hearst Beverly Hills mansion. Luxury cars drop off glamorous guests. Then a 1940s taxi pulls up and Lucy, White, and Rufus get out. Lucy looks stunning in a formal dress. Of course she looks stunning, little bitch. Rufus and Wyatt look sharp in black dye tuxedos. Come on, writers. I mean, it's not enough that they're always wrecking our plans, but they always have to look fabulous doing it. Anyway.
All right, so what's the plan? Thank the host for having us, then ask if he stole Citizen Kane?
And if Rittenhouse helped him?
Well, for all we know, Hearst is Rittenhouse.
They approach private security, checking names on a list at the front door.
Jeez, there's more security in Hollywood than there was in Nazi Germany.
Just about as many black people.
All right, anyone here could be the sleeper agent. Stay on your toes.
Langston, darling.
They all turn to see Hedy Lamarr approaching from her 1940s limousine, stopping to give Rufus a double cheek kiss hello.
Lovely to see you again. Oh, no, it's fine, dear. Bear with me.
Hetty takes Rufus by the arm, motioning for Wyatt and Lucy to go ahead as they all head into the party.
I am dying to speak to you about your poetry.
In Colonel Beverly House hallway. Night, slowly lagging behind.
Please, Langston, darling, just 1 or 2 verses from your latest book of poems.
I'm more of a writer than performer.
Ugh, Hollywood has no culture. Please, you must.
All right, if I must. Here's my latest. Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute. Just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
Well, that was truly awful. Yes, I was thinking, you know, you don't resemble the photo in your book, and now I know why. You're not Langston Hughes. So who are you really?
Finally, someone who sees through their insipid BS stories. Off Rufus, busted as he considers his response. End of Act 1. Act 2. Internal Beverly House, main room, night. Glamorous guests mingle. Wyatt and Lucy scan the room as Rufus and Hetty rejoin them.
Hey guys, guess what? Hetty knows I'm not Langston Hughes.
You told me what you're doing here.
He he did?
Yep, that Hearst stole Citizen Kane and we're getting it back.
He did.
You're all friends with Orson?
Yep. He sent us. Actually, can't really come here himself, can he? He couldn't. You know, we couldn't let Hearst do this. It's such an amazing film.
You've seen Citizen Kane?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's amazing.
Private screening. Spoiler alert. Rosebud's a sled.
Oh.
Oh, what is it, spoiler?
Well,
you know, he screened it for me also, and it is a true work of genius. So tell me, how can I help?
Really? Oh, well, maybe you could introduce us to Hearst.
Well, I would be happy to, but looks like he's leaving the party.
Hetty motions towards Hearst, heading upstairs with Luke.
Who is going with him?
Lucas Calhoun, producer at RKO.
As in RKO 281?
He's all hands. A real louse, but he makes good pictures. He's putting one together now about dinosaurs. It sounds brilliant. Calls it Jurassic Park.
Sure seems ahead of his time.
We need to know what they're talking about.
Just then, a tipsy Barney Balaban interrupts.
Hetty, Langston, and the next Fairbanks and Pickford. We have chemistry, I can tell. I'm going to help out your friends. Everyone, listen up. I'd like to introduce a talented new duo.
Logan and Preston. Logan and Preston.
Well,
who here wants a song?
Everyone cheers. Lucy and Wyatt look horrified.
Oh, a song? Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Oh, no, I thought you said that you two were a musical. Now, come on.
You told me you used to be a singer, right? Is it part of some band?
Yes, but I haven't sung in years. I mean, not since the car accident. I can't do it.
Lucy, you can do this, all right? I know you can.
Me? We're a duo. Preston.
No. Trust me. Okay, you don't want me to sing. I will blow our cover.
Lucy sighs, then follows Barney to the piano. Wyatt throws Rufus a look, and Rufus follows Hetty upstairs. Internal Federal Prison, hospital wing, exam room, day. Christopher returns to see Flynn cuffed to the bed.
Where's Lucy?
Traveling.
I don't see any release papers for
I'm
this.
afraid it's not that simple.
I knew you wouldn't honor the deal.
You're a classified terrorist. I can't just call in a favor and get you out early for good behavior.
Well, then you might as well kill me yourself.
Don't tempt me. As much as it pains me to admit it, we need your intel on these sleeper agents in order to stop Rittenhouse.
She subtly slips him a small folded piece of paper.
What's this?
If you ask me, a very bad idea.
Agent Christopher leaves, off Flynn, intrigued. Internal Beverly House bedroom night. Rufus and Hetty enter, closing the door behind them.
You sure they're in the next room?
That's Hearst's office right there.
Hetty points to the wall, Hearst and Lucas on the other side. Rufus puts his ear against the wall, then shakes his head.
Walls are too thick. Can I use your glass?
Hetty downs her drink and hands Rufus her glass.
This will amplify the sound coming through the wall.
I'm familiar with acoustic coupling.
Right. Of course you are.
Rufus puts the glass against the wall, listens for a moment, then backs away, shaking his head.
Damn, still not clear enough.
I know another way, but we will need some cellulose tape.
You mean like Scotch tape?
Well, it doesn't matter which brand.
They start rifling through drawers, looking for tape. Internal Beverly House by the piano night. Lucy stands next to the piano as a pianist starts to play. She looks to Wyatt, who smiles for support. You got this. Lucy takes a breath, nervous, singing a sexy, slightly slowed down version of You Made Me Love You.
You made! Sorry, I missed it. I'm just gonna, sorry, my fault. I'm just gonna start. Let's try again. You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You made me love you. And all the time you knew it. I guess you always knew it.
Come on. On top of everything else, she can sing like that too. Give me a damn break. Fine, whatever. Off Wyatt, mesmerized. Internal Beverly House, bedroom night. Rufus tears off a piece of Scotch tape as Hetty lifts a painting off the wall, sets it down, and pulls out the nail.
First, you need a hole in the wall.
She takes the tape from Rufus, placing it over the nail hole.
Then you cover the hole with a thin membrane.
Equalizing the pressure on both sides, funneling the sound through.
There. Now you can hear them speaking. Oh, better with a glass.
Rufus takes the glass and puts it against the nail hole covered in Scotch tape. Off Rufus, listening closely. Internal Beverly House, office night. Close on, a few feet of negative film strip. Reveal Hearst holding it up to the light as Lucas watches, drinks in hand.
Where's the rest of it?
It's in a safe place. It's all yours, all 6 reels, once you agree to our terms. A weekly column in all of your papers.
What kind of column?
The kind that we write and you publish, no questions asked.
That's all, just one column?
Small price to pay. Trust me, you do not want this film getting out. Does Rosebud ring a bell?
You got yourself a deal.
Lucas and Hearst shake hands. Internal Beverly House, bedroom night. Rufus listens, looking worried. Internal Beverly House by the piano, night. Lucy in the second verse of the song, her nerves having vanished, enjoying herself now. The entire room listening.
You made me cry 'cause I didn't want to tell ya. I didn't want to tell ya. I need some love that's true. Yes, I do. Deed, I do. You know I do. Give me, give me, give me, give me what I'd cry for. You know you've got the brand of kisses that I die for. You now you made me love you.
She finishes and everyone applauds. Wyatt stares at her, moved and riveted. Lucy smiles, blushing. Push in close on Michael, the Rittenhouse agent, applauding with the other guests in the room and plotting. End of Act 2. Act 3. Internal Beverly House by the piano, night. Everyone applauds after Lucy has finished singing. We find Michael in the crowd, moving closer. Internal Beverly House by the stairs, night. Wyatt applauds, watching Lucy, but he gets distracted when a passing waiter drops a champagne glass near him, turning to look, then turning back to see Lucy is gone. Off Wyatt, panicked, pushing his way through the crowd. External Beverly House, the service entrance, night. Michael drags Lucy out to his car, gun on her side.
I'm under strict instructions to keep you alive but not unharmed. So don't try anything. Scoot over. You're driving.
Where are you taking me?
Back to your mother. I'm sure she can explain everything.
He raises his silenced pistol and starts shooting over Lucy's shoulder. Pew, pew! Angle and Wyatt ducking behind a tree, gun drawn.
Lucy, run!
But before she can, Michael shoves Lucy into the car.
Wyatt!
He turns and fires more shots at Wyatt, ducking behind the door, but Lucy kicks Michael, sending him forward, giving Wyatt the perfect opportunity to step out from behind the tree and shoot, taking Michael out. Wyatt rushes over. He checks on Michael to make sure he's not getting back up, then takes Lucy's hand.
Come on, let's find Rufus and get the hell out of here.
They rush off, leaving Michael face down on the ground. External Beverly Hills driveway, night. Lucy, Wyatt, and Rufus walk outside.
So he gives Hearst the movie, and in return, Hearst gives him a column? I don't see the big deal.
Hearst papers had a huge amount of influence. He helped start the Spanish-American War through his use of yellow journalism.
Fake news, except actual fake news.
If Rittenhouse can print their own propaganda in Hearst papers, they can literally rewrite history as it happens. Whoever controls information controls everything.
They're making the exchange at 10 a.m. tomorrow on stage 14.
Oh, not if we're there to stop it.
Oh, couldn't get a taxi.
They turn to see Hetty with her friend George and Theo calling out to them from the backseat of her limo. Lucy covers.
Hi, Hetty. You still look beautiful. It's such a nice night. We felt like walking.
Nobody walks in LA. Get in.
Faster we get away from here, the better.
So, where are you staying?
The three exchange glances. Hadn't crossed that bridge yet. Internal bunker, control room, day. Agent Christopher approaches Mason at a computer.
Where's Gia?
Still in with the doctor, hearing the bad news, thanks to you.
Well, that's optimistic.
I'm being realistic. Had you spoken with me before insisting Gia see a doctor, I could have saved you the argument and given you the prognosis myself.
What are you talking about?
But when we first began testing the lifeboat, we had 2 pilots come back with the same symptoms. I told you all. I warned them the lifeboat isn't equipped for more than 3 people.
What happened to the other 2 pilots?
We ran test after test. None of it mattered.
Mason, what happened to them?
One of them is being treated for severe schizophrenia, and the other died of a brain aneurysm.
Does Rufus know about this?
Have you met Rufus? No. Do you think he would let Gia risk her life if he'd known that?
So you kept it from him? From all of us?
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you have me arrested? But no good will come from her knowing. There's no medicine to fix this. There's nothing any of us can do.
Finally, some good news for a change. Off Agent Christopher taking that in. External Hetty's house, pool area, night. Hetty and George lead Lucy, White, and Rufus into the gorgeous pool area outside her home. George beelines for the bar.
George, darling, can you make us some drinks?
Thank you so much for letting us stay here.
Of course, any friend of Orson's a friend of mine.
George?
What do you plan to do about Orson's picture?
We're hoping to kill the deal.
How'd you know all that with the tape and a hole in the wall?
I have an inventive mind.
She has an entire room devoted to her inventions.
You knew what I was talking about, though, with the sound waves.
Well, yes, not to brag, but I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Would you like to see what George and I have been working on?
She says that as if you actually have a choice.
Hetty takes Rufus by the arm as she tells Lucy and Wyatt.
You two lovebirds make yourself at home. Now, did you know torpedoes are radio guided? We found a way to change the signal, making it harder for enemies to detect or jam.
Hetty leaves with Rufus on her arm and George in tow. Once they're gone, Wyatt turns to Lucy, amused.
Lovebirds.
The next Fairbanks and Pickford.
External Hetty's house, pool, night. Light bounces off the pool water onto Lucy and Wyatt as they take their shoes off, drinks in hand.
So, how long have George and Hetty been together?
Oh, they're not. They're just friends. Yeah. He's a talented composer, Hetty's inventing partner. Their idea for frequency hopping came from his knowledge of piano players.
Well, he doesn't look at her like an inventing partner.
Well, George does have a giant crush on her. I mean, as most men do, but he was married when they met.
Bad timing.
Of course, Hetty's also into taller men, and George is 4 inches shorter than her, so.
Ooh, poor guy never had a chance. Well, you know, some men find a beautiful woman with brains intimidating.
Hetty just wants to be respected.
Yeah, but yet I wasn't talking about Hetty.
You find me intimidating?
Oh, no. Oh, you thought I meant you.
Oh, no. No.
I just meant that you're not hideous.
Wow. Not hideous.
Lucy, would you just, you're beautiful, okay? What?
Nothing. Sorry, I don't walk that way. I've always been kind of a nerd.
Okay, I doubt that.
Oh, it's true. You know, I skipped my prom for speech and debate tournament. I regret nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and you, I'll bet you were the jock who had girls lining up at your door.
Well, I was suspended for drinking on campus and barred from the prom, so yeah, I was pretty lost back then. You saved my life, you know.
Which time? The Alamo, Watergate? I'm starting to lose count.
Jeez. Okay, that's not what I meant. You know why I took this assignment? Because it was dangerous. After Jessica died, I just sort of stopped caring about anything. But not anymore.
When I was with my mother and I thought that you were dead, I felt that way too.
What about now?
Now, what?
A beat as they look at each other then. Hard cut to internal pool house moments later. The door slams as Lucy and Wyatt enter, facing each other. Lucy backing in tentatively as Wyatt walks forward. Their eyes locked, nervous excitement, a little shy, vulnerable. Close on Lucy, close on Wyatt. This is going to happen. Unable to wait any longer, they finally give in, kissing passionately. The kiss lingers, the kiss we have waited 18 episodes for. A beat as they both instinctively pull away. Did they both just feel that? Wow. They lock eyes. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do I seriously have to read this? Because this is like the grossest thing I've ever heard, pretty much. It's seriously time to block #lie on Twitter. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And then neither of one can resist any longer. They passionately kiss again, more intensely, spinning around and reversing position, both more sure now, giving in, until Lucy abruptly stops, on Wyatt wondering what's wrong. And then Lucy closes the door for privacy without even looking at it and returns to Wyatt. Just the hint of a smile, reassuring him that, oh yeah, he wants this too. And this time, nothing's going to stop them as they embrace again, fall onto the bed together as we, mercifully I might add, arrive at the end of Act 3.
Thanks, Emma.
Act 4, internal poo house morning. Lucy wakes up in Wyatt's arm on the couch, hidden underneath the sheets, their clothes strewn about the room.
Morning.
Morning. I drooled on your chest.
Don't worry about it.
Was last night okay?
Oh, I thought it was great.
Thank you. But no, I mean, technically, we're co-workers. Is this an HR issue or?
Well, I mean, we don't have to announce it to everyone. That'll be our little secret until we're ready to just...
The door opens and Rufus walks in, seeing them.
Oh, yeah. I was looking for both of you, and well, here you are. And this is me leaving.
Rufus leaves.
Busted.
They kiss, staying in bed a little bit longer. Internal bunker, control room, day. Gia enters to find Mason and Agent Christopher.
Well, what did the doctor say?
He said, I'm fine. That there's absolutely nothing wrong with me.
What about the seizures?
He brought a portable MRI to scan my brain. No signs of stroke, clots, tumors, or lesions of any kind. But the weirdest part is I've had a heart murmur my entire life, kept me from running track. But as of today, it's gone.
What?
Gone.
It's gone somehow. My heart murmur was cured, and same with the cyst on my ankle.
What about the visions?
It's still happening, still having them, but my brain is fine and my heart is fixed. It's like I'm good as new. What the hell happened to me on that lifeboat?
Off Agent Christopher and Mason wondering the same thing. External Paramount Pictures, executive building, day. Lucy, White, and Rufus watch a door from across the street.
So, how was your night?
Rufus.
It's cool. I won't tell anyone. Maybe Gia. Okay, definitely Gia. But not Christopher or Mason.
White and Lucy exchange a look, not sure what to say and too happy to hide their secret.
So, is this happening? It's happening, isn't it? Is it a thing? Cool.
Wait, there he is.
Reveal Lucas exiting the building and walking around a corner. Once he's gone.
All right, let's go.
Our heroes. Okay, wait, just one. Who says they're the heroes? I'm the damn hero in the story. You're just telling it wrong. Anyway, the three annoying heroes follow after him. External Paramount Pictures of Avenue A, day. Lucy, White, and Rufus follow Lucas, keeping a safe distance. External Paramount Pictures, stage 18, day. Lucy, White, and Rufus round a corner to see Lucas opening a door to stage 18, disappearing inside. They rush over to the same door, slipping inside, unaware of a security guard who saw them go in. Internal soundstage, day. It's dark, quiet, nothing filming here today. Lucas crosses to an old Western wooden coffin movie prop. He opens, then moves to industrial film enters, drawing his gun, leading Lucy and Rufus around the naked back walls of a movie set. They stop near an opening, hearing voices. Wyatt peers through to see Lucas meeting with a Hearst goon in the middle of the set, the two metal cases between them.
Must be one of Hearst's guys.
Is that?
Sorry. Yep, we're back at the Alamo.
Reveal, a cheap 1940 version of the Alamo.
Hey, you can't be in here for that.
Our heroes turn, surprised by the security guard behind them, and Lucas is alerted to their presence. Without missing a beat, Lucas pulls his gun and starts shooting. The security guard gets hit, going down. Wyatt returns fire, and the Hearst goon runs, leaving the cases behind.
Hey, the film!
He exits. Lucas fumes, riddling the wall of the Alamo that our heroes are hiding behind with bullets. Lucy and Rufus tend to the security guard, applying pressure to his wound.
He's losing a lot of blood.
Wyatt peeks out to see Lucas heading for the door with the case. Wyatt shoots, bullets ricocheting off the door. Lucas drops the case and quickly ducks behind a stage prop. A beat as they wait to see what the other will do.
I spent 15 years building to this day. 15 damn years.
Stay here.
Careful.
Wyatt and Lucy exchange a look as Wyatt slips out to the maze of studio props and fake walls, inching towards Lucas.
Was it you? You killed my father?
Wyatt zeroes in on his hiding spot, moving closer.
Carol gave him strict orders to bring Lucy back alive.
Lucas reloads a clip, then turns and fires more silenced shots. Wyatt ducks behind a large crate.
He should have just shot you all on sight.
Wyatt makes his move, rushing over to find Lucas gone. Wyatt studies the myriad hiding places within the soundstage, stalking through like a lion hunting his prey. Lucas does the same, gun raised, looking for Wyatt through the set maze. Meanwhile, Rufus sneaks over to get the cases. Looking all around as he moves toward them, reaching out to grab them, reveal Lucas with a clean line of sight on an oblivious Rufus. He takes aim, then pew, pew, pew! 3 shots are fired. Startled, Rufus looks over to see Lucas with his gun pointed directly at him. Then Lucas drops. To reveal Wyatt standing behind him, gun raised, having shot Lucas in the back. You know what? I trained Lucas myself. He was a very good sleeper agent and a decent backgammon player, and he deserved better than this, much better. So I promise, I vow, I will make these 3 little snots pay for all of this eventually. Anyway, back to our story. Rufus, breathing a sigh of relief. Back sitting next to the security guard's lifeless body, when Wyatt and Rufus return, her sad look says it all.
Come on. We can't be around to answer for this.
Wyatt grabs one of the film cases, Rufus grabs the other, and Lucy follows them out. End of Act 4. Act 5. External Paramount Pictures, New York Street Day. Rufus stands next to Hedy Lamarr in her cast chair on a film set, the 2 metal cases by her chair.
You'll make sure he gets these?
You're not actually friends with Orson, are you?
No, but I'm a fan of his work.
Aren't we all? Where shall I say got them from?
Well, you're pretty much a genius. You'll think of something. Oh, and one more thing. Your patent for frequency hopping?
Yes, we plan to apply for it soon.
Well, you're way ahead of your time. The Navy probably won't use it until 1962, if I had to guess. So whatever you do not let that patent expire.
Smiling, off Hedy watching him go, intrigued. Internal car day. Wyatt's attempting to hotwire the car as Lucy keeps watch.
Got a long drive ahead of us. You sure there's no one up there?
Pretty sure. Prison was just built. Nobody's in it yet.
Okay. You know, we got no radio. Maybe you can sing us something on the way.
Okay, that was terrifying.
Oh, really? You look like you were having a pretty good time up there.
Oh.
No, it was nice to see you happy.
Wyatt gets the car started, leans in to kiss Lucy, just as Rufus opens the door and climbs in the back, killing the moment.
So, how'd it go?
Citizen Kane's in good hands. Also, I have to agree with Agent Christopher. This is a terrible idea.
My thoughts exactly.
Either of you have a better one? No? All right then. Let's do this.
Internal Federal Prison, Flynn's cell, 1941. Lucy, White, and Rufus enter with flashlights, the duffel bag, and a small package. Lucy references blueprints.
Okay, this is the one.
They enter the cell, dropping their gear, getting to work. Quick cuts of them pulling out items from the duffel bag, tools, quick dry cement, a matching brick. Close on, a chisel scraping out the mortar around a brick in the back corner of the cell. The camera pushes in, match cut, to the Internal Federal Prison, Flynn's cell, present day. The back of the metal spoon chiseling out of the mortar as camera pulls out, to reveal Flynn in the cell now, scraping at the same brick decades later. The note from Agent Christopher next to him with a diagram of the cell, an X marking where to dig. Montage of Flynn scraping at the mortar surrounding the brick with a spoon. With all the mortar scraped out, Flynn removes the brick. He reaches inside, pulling out the small package our heroes had back in 1941, covered in dust with slight water damage. Flynn frantically opens the package to reveal a ring of keys, a security key fob, and a small gas mask. Time cut to Internal Federal Prison, Flynn's cell later that night. Flynn lays in bed when suddenly an alarm sounds. A smile creeps onto Flynn's face as he retrieves his care package. Flynn pulls out the contents, putting the gas mask on and using the keys to unlock his cell. Opens the door. Internal Federal Prison hallway, continuous. Flynn walks through the smoke, past a few unconscious guards on the ground. Internal bunker, missile silo day, whoosh, the lifeboat returns. Internal bunker, common area, later. Rufus, holding an iPad, approaches Gia as she pours herself some cereal. Lucy and Wyatt on the couch behind them.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, fine, really. Yeah, I saw a doctor. I've literally never been healthier, so.
How'd it go?
We stopped them.
And dropped off the package.
I know.
Flynn walks in. Wyatt walks past, refusing to even look at Flynn.
Just keep him on a leash.
Wyatt starts to leave. Lucy catches up to him.
Hey, so, last night.
Was amazing.
I'm glad we agree. So, what now?
Well, you know, we're already living together, which is a pretty big step, so.
Wyatt smiles. Lucy does too. Then his phone dings with a message. Wyatt checks it, seems unnerved.
You okay?
Yeah. It's just seeing Flynn here with us, you know, I don't like it.
I know, but we're on the same side now. And I believe that he can help us.
Yeah, he can, but will he? I mean, he got what he wanted, now what?
Let's forget about Flynn. What matters is that we have each other, right?
But Wyatt's distracted by the same text message.
What is it?
What?
What?
No, it's nothing. Nothing. Listen, I'm gonna go clean up real quick here.
Wyatt suddenly turns and leaves. Lucy looks concerned. She's about to go after him when Rufus approaches, excited.
Lucy, check it out. I told Hetty to renew her patent, which she did in 1955. So now when the Navy uses it during the 1962 blockade of Cuba, Hetty and George still own it.
Gosh, I'm so glad they got the credit.
Yeah, and about $30 billion to go with it.
30 billion?
Billion, yeah. She quit acting and formed a tech company. According to Wikipedia, Bill Gates ain't got nothing on Hetty Lamar.
An alarm sounds, blaring throughout the entire bunker.
What is that?
Someone's breaking in.
Do you think Rittenhouse tracked Flynn here?
Or he betrayed us.
Where are your guns?
You wish. Everyone, stay with me.
Agent Christopher leads them all out, gun drawn. Internal bunker corridor continuous. Agent Christopher heads toward the steel door exit to find it open. Mason joins them as Agent Christopher picks up a crowbar laying near the busted door handle.
Nobody broke in. They broke out.
She looks around to see who's missing as Lucy realizes.
Where's Wyatt?
Internal dive bar day. Wyatt walks through the crowded bar, scanning the room. We stay on his face until he stops, finding who he's looking for. A beat as Wyatt summons his courage, then crosses to
Jessica?
Wyatt looks confused and hopeful and distraught all at the same time as his wife, Jessica, turns around.
Oh my God. You're actually here.
Camera pans from Jessica's wedding ring on her finger up to her confused face. That's right, Time Team. Team Rittenhouse has a little surprise for you, and her name is Jessica Logan. But that's for another episode. As Wyatt stares at his seemingly brought back to life, we smash to black. The end.
All right, everybody. First of all, big round of applause in your homes, I guess, for the entire amazing cast. Everybody coming back, you're all awesome. Abigail Spencer, you're also awesome. Thank you for jumping in very quickly. But a specific shout out to the cast who is not coming on for the final panel. I wanted to give a shout out to Bo Bryans, John Colton, Matthew Downs, James Dumont, Jordan Ferris, Chris Gann, Chet Grissom, Ravi Nadeau, Josh Randall, Mary Weiss, all reprising their roles from the episode, which is awesome. Also, shout out to Corey Michael Smith for jumping in, Chantal Van Santen for jumping in, and as mentioned before, Annie Wershing for pulling double duty, not just as Emma, but also as the narrator. You're all amazing. And again, for those of you watching at home, big round of applause because that was fantastic. We're going to say goodbye to them for the moment, have them do a little, I guess, backstage party, however that works on Zoom, and welcome in the cast here for your fan Q&A. So we're going to do that right now, starting off with co-creator and executive producer Eric Kripke, co-creator and executive producer Sean Ryan, Abigail Spencer as Lucy Preston, Matt Lanter as Wyatt Logan, Malcolm Barrett as Rufus Carlin, Claudia Dubit as GM Marie, Patterson Joseph as Connor Mason, Goran Visnish as Garcia Flynn, Sakina Jaffrey as Denise Christopher. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Once again, that was absolutely fantastic. To kick things off, Abigail already did a song, so I think we're going to go around. Everybody's going to do their own favorite Hollywood standard.
Oh, great.
Matt,
Great.
we'll start with you.
Yeah.
You are
I'm
what?
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not going to make anybody sing on this. But actually, you guys sent so many questions. I apologize if we can't get to all of them. I don't think with well over 200 that we can, unless we're ready to do this for the next couple of days. But to kick it off, this is one that comes off the episode, and maybe Eric or Sean might be best to do this. Abigail, I don't know if you have anything, but Lindsay wants to know, were there any different songs considered for Lucy to sing in this episode, or was the one she sang the only song considered? She did such a great job.
Well, one, thank you. I mean, I'm trying to remember Matt Whitney, who wrote the episode. The song was actually his idea, right? And it worked out because this is an infamous song. This was Judy Garland's audition song for I think either. I hope Matt is listening and texts me, but it was her audition song, maybe for Wizard of Oz, but it's kind of her audition piece for it. So it was the right time, and then it was so funny. I think Matt and I had like a brain share, and it's like, do you remember that song? And he was like, "You made me love you," and so I think that's kind of how it came to be. I don't remember any other songs being considered, but he's texting me now. What does he say? It was original. Oh, it was going to originally be Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
There you go.
And then You Made Me Love You came about. That's my memory of it. That could be totally wrong, though.
Eric, Sean, did she get it right, or any additions?
I don't remember any other song choices.
Yeah, I don't either. So she's totally correct.
Correct by default.
Let's do a more general question about the show. This is from Jamie Massey, and a couple of people had variations on this, but how is it different playing your characters in different historical time periods? Are there certain things you research to prepare yourself? Malcolm, let's go over to you. Is there anything that you research when you're going to the different time periods on the show?
No, I thought it best to not look anything up. It was I don't know, it depends on the time period we traveled in, right? Like, I mean, the ideal thing is I kind of the characters don't know much. Lucy's character or Abigail's character knows everything about what's going on, and we're sort of thrust into it. The research would be more about what is normal during this time, what would make sense, you know what I mean, in general behavior, but particularly as a Black man, it was just like, oh, will we hang out? What are the looks? Are they normal looks? Can I go over here? So it's just a lot of research into what rooms I can walk in. But that's, and then probably the other hardest thing to keep track of is literally time traveling. Like literally knowing what year you're in, what you're supposed to know, and what secret you're keeping. I would always keep a book about all of these basic things just so my mind could make sense of it all.
Matt, what about you?
I mean, for me, just mostly, I mean, Wyatt wasn't really, I would really say maybe out of the three, he was a little oblivious to the history of the time period, unless it had something to do with military or some kind of a strategy, or we had Nazi Germany was one, World War I. So I would research those, so I kind of was clued in onto what was happening, around the wars. But other than that, it actually behooved me to not look up much historical, stuff, because I wasn't my thing, and it's supposed to be Lucy's thing. So.
Well, on the other hand, I mean, I'm turning to the other side of the equation. Goran, for you, certainly you were supposed to be steeped in these time periods. Did you look into the more, or like the rest of the class, did you try to keep it clean?
Well, first season, Flynn didn't have Lucy, so he had to do his research. My favorite part was that Flynn didn't give a damn about bringing modern things in the past and kind of messing up history. So he would show up with a machine gun that would get stolen, and to kill havoc would break loose. I loved bringing my iWatch, that we're going to do that. And then like after that episode, people would write, oh my God, they forgot the guy has an iWatch in the 1700s. And we were like, dude, we wanted that. It was always fun, but yeah, it would be always nice to kind of get the episode, see which time you're going back, and read a little bit about it, brush your history. Always fun.
This is a bit of a related question from Kathleen Wicks, and this is again for anybody in the cast, but did you have any input into where the team would go and who they would meet? If not, who would you have picked to meet in the past, and where would you have liked the characters to have gone? Annie, let's go over to you, since you didn't answer the last one. Was there anywhere, did you have any input on where you wanted to go? Messing up time as Emma.
Ooh, no, I kind of left that one all to the writers. Yeah, I feel like she could have, wreak havoc wherever they wanted to send me. So I'm ready for it all.
Well, Eric and Sean, for you guys, was there any feedback sort of that? And I guess I'm curious, this wasn't necessarily asked, but one of the things that I particularly really like about the show is you always find a way to hook the emotional journey of the characters into the time period they're going in. So from the writer's room perspective, does it start with those emotional journeys, then figuring out which historical periods meet it, or is it vice versa, or does it vary based on the episode?
I think it's sometimes it's both, depending. Like we had a couple historical periods, we really wanted to go to. Bass Reeves was a story we were dying to do for a while, for instance. But in general, the move is usually starting with emotional arcs. It's just good process for really any show. You start with where are they emotionally, where are they going, and then you look for the time period that best fits that. We have a list. We would have we would have a list of the time periods that we I'm obsessed with Robert Johnson. So, the Robert Johnson episode was one I definitely wanted to do. But we would look at, here's where they are emotionally episode by episode, and then which of these time periods would best fit. And now Sean will contradict everything I'm about to say.
Eric was never there making any of these decisions. I don't know what he's talking now. Now, Eric's. I would say that there were some examples, like when we found out that Ian Fleming had been a spy in Germany during World War II, we were like, no matter how much we have to manipulate things, we have to do a story around that. And then there are other times where we do have to find the emotional thing. Something, I don't know how many of you remember, the actors may not remember at all because they never saw the script, but we almost did a Hollywood episode, season 1, that was going to revolve around the director, John Ford, was choosing between 2 actors to play the lead role in Stagecoach. And it was John Wayne, who became famous off that movie, and the other choice was Ronald Reagan. And we toyed with the idea of doing an episode where Rittenhouse manipulated it so that Ronald Reagan would become the actor and then would never go on his political journey and everything. And ultimately that story never came together in a way that we could sort of launch because we didn't really have the right emotional stories to tell during it. So we knew we wanted to do something in classic Hollywood land, but it wasn't until season 2 when we came up with, the Lucy Wyatt story at the heart of this, and Flynn in the cell and all that it came together so we could do it.
Yeah, I'd also say that we got really a lot more focused in season 2 of making sure we were telling stories of women and people of color. Like, I think we really found our zone in terms of showing the historical stories that, aren't told often enough. And I feel you could feel the evolution of that as the series goes on, that we got better and better about, picking really interesting untold stories.
Getting back to the input thing, I'm curious to hear from the home team, from Claudia, Patterson, and Sakina. Obviously, you all end up traveling through time by the end of the series, but were there points, just once for Sakina, but for the 3 of you, were there points when you were trying to get yourself in the mothership, when you were saying, not the mothership, the lifeboat, and saying, hey, come on and let me travel through time?
Yes, always.
No, I loved that I wore pajamas to set every day, so I was very excited about that. I didn't realize how difficult it was getting in the costumes, guys, until it happened to me.
It was so crazy. Being these elaborate, God, it was 17 layers underneath walking to set.
Patterson, what about you?
What's up, guys?
I shamelessly begged them to send me back in time. I think I actually even sent an email. What a cheek, eh? I even sent an email to both Eric and Sean and said, why can't I go back in time? It makes so much sense. I mean, I really should be going back in time. And then they flipped it on me and made me terrified, made Connor Mason terrified of going back in time, which is a brilliant twist. I didn't see it coming. It was great.
Yeah. That was a great episode. This is a question from Courtney M. Abby, I just love your style so much. I also adore Katharine Hepburn. Did you get to keep the Philadelphia story dress from the episode?
That is a point of contention in the group. I actually, Marianne Cheo has one set aside for me. I got to keep the Bonnie and Clyde costume because we had multiples of each. So when we had multiples, I actually have the skirt. I bid in an auction to win Lucy's skirt from the Abraham Lincoln episode, by the way. Like, I saw that they were like auctioning off all the costumes, so I bid on all of them, and the only one I could get was the skirt from the Abraham Lincoln episode. So I have Bonnie and Clyde. Marianne has that one stowed away for me, and then the skirt from Abraham Lincoln.
All right.
I stole the recorder.
And I wanted to add that I actually have all of Abby's clothes from her. I outbid her. I was just willing to pay more.
Matt, could we please do a fashion show? I think we got it.
That's amazing.
Gosh. Matt.
Question from Jennifer LeBay. Whose idea was it to add all the Star Wars references into the show? As Star Wars nerd from way back, they tickled me, especially Wyatt's, aka Sky Guy's references. Maybe that's a question for Matt. Maybe it's a question for Eric and
I
Sean.
think it's probably a question for Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the stone cold nerd in the writing staff, so I can promise you that most Star Wars references and nerd references were from either me or some of the other nerds on the crew. And we were psyched. I mean, there was a bunch of us who were like psyched that Matt was joining the cast because he was Anakin in Clone Wars, and we all knew it, and we were like, that's amazing. And then Sean would be like, I'm too busy being a real adult man to know that, but but good for you guys. And so all those things, like all the Easter eggs, the Bill and Ted references that are all over it. We dropped Easter eggs all over. Personal one is, which I don't know if I've ever told anyone here, is Matt's grandfather's name in the show. Wyatt's grandfather's name is Sherwin, who is my grandfather, who served in World War II. So, but yeah, no, we're always dropping that nerd stuff all over the place. I'm all about that.
Every couple of months, someone will go, wait, is Wyatt, are they named from Bill and Ted? Like every couple of months on Twitter.
Amazing. Now, you all might be very surprised to learn there were a lot of questions about continuing Timeless. Very surprising to me. So many questions in so many different directions. So just to pick one kind of out of the hat here, this is from Tony Lynn Langoveld. If Timeless were to be renewed for a third season, where would you pick up from, and would it change what occurred in the Christmas episode? I assume that's for Sean.
Yeah, I would say that it would depend. Those are two questions. The first question, where would it pick up? It depends. Are we making it next year? Are we making it in 10 years? Are we making it in 15 years? So I don't know. Listen, I've done a few shows where people have asked, hey, what's next if you get a chance? People ask me about The Shield or other things. And I'm always like, well, listen, I need a writer's room to figure that out. I'm no, a genius of singularity that knows all the answers to this. I need to get into a room with a bunch of smart people and sort of ask. But no, I don't think we would do anything that would cancel out episodes that we've aired, including, our Christmas finale. I think we'd have to, if and when we were to do more, I think we'd have to figure out a way to have it fit within the fabric of that. Having said that, with time travel, things always are a little fungible.
As a follow-up to that, and a lot of people were asking about this as well, we kind of got every single variation of how could it continue. Is it, in your minds, only a TV show? Are we going to follow up on, I think it's Paulita, in that tag at the end with Timeless, The Next Generation, or could it be a comic book? Some people suggested a stage play, which I thought was kind of an amazing idea.
That's a good one. There might be, the one that makes them, we haven't talked to anyone at NBC or Sony about this specifically, but, the idea of of continuing these TV movies. I think Abby talked to NBC about it they had a conversation in a meeting, but nothing substantial. But that to me is the one that makes sense of continuing this TV movie thing. I also, by the way, as a side note, just right now up on my computer, just because you brought it up, I have a file in my email of Timeless Season 3, which is these little ideas that in articles the staff was kicking each other before we found out our fates. So there is a little file somewhere of some.
Open it. Open it.
Open the file, Kripke.
Yeah, no one's gonna find it. No one gets the file.
Oh, it's in the computer. It's in the.
Open it.
I keep joking that we're gonna keep doing reunions till I have a walker and the three we're just we can't get in the time machine anymore, and it's just the whole episode is us trying to get in and out of the time machine.
So basically like a normal episode.
Ouch. This is the last thing I'll ask about this, and then we'll move on to some other questions. But certainly, a lot of people always want to know about this with any beloved show. Vivian, yes. Sorry, I skipped over the question. Here we go. Eric Walker says, we saw with Timeless that so many fans successfully helped bring the show back to screen. How important is fan interaction to television today, and do you see this continuing into the future? And I guess to that point, to tie into other things, if fans do want to push getting the show back, do they need to be sending cupcakes all the time? Do they need to be sending planes over airspace all the
We
time?
need to do, I think I discovered this just recently because of Malcolm. I think that Stacey Abrams is a fan. And I think if anybody wants to get anything done, anybody wants to gather people, it would be Stacey Abrams. So we need to get her on our to-do list for us. Get this done.
I'll talk to her. I have a relationship with her. I'll send a message.
What I would say is I keep looking at the Star Trek model where that was on for a few seasons but didn't get the ratings necessary to, succeed on network television. But in syndication, people realized the value of that show and how special it was, and it became more and more popular over time. And so what I would say is the best thing you can do if you want to see future iterations of this show is not to spend your hard-earned money to send cupcakes or something to people, but get friends to watch it online. Get people to discover this show and spread the word. And the more that happens, because we now live in a data-driven universe where these places look at, what people are watching and how they're watching it. And if they saw a spike, over time, gradual, of more and more people discovering the show and spreading the word, that's when there, could be an appetite, to do more with it.
All right. Let's move on to another more general question. This is from Aaron Murphy. I work at Paramount and got to see part of this episode filmed from my office window. Where was everyone's favorite location to shoot from during the series? Abigail, why don't we start with you? Where was your favorite location to shoot from during the series?
Abby's was Vancouver for sure.
I was about to say Los Angeles, anywhere in Los Angeles. But Paramount was a dream. I will say, I feel so lucky that in this lifetime, I got to shoot at Paramount Studios and in such a beautiful, supported, lovely way. It really is I felt like I was on, hallowed Hollywood ground. And it was such a dream, walking, driving up to the gate, and the security guards knew who I was. It was very special. So Paramount for sure for me.
Malcolm, what about you?
It's crazy because it's all sets, right? It's not real. So what? Yeah. It's just wood. Probably one of my favorites was doing the Bass Reeves episode, because I think it's the first time we rode horses. And so it was the first time discovering I was really good on a horse. So that was pretty cool.
Malcolm loves horses.
Yeah, Goran would not let the writers off the telephone until we agreed that he could ride a horse with his own saddle in the show. And so we got everyone on horses in that episode.
I will say I along with Abby, just working at Paramount was really, really awesome. But I think maybe if the question asker was wanting a location thing, I will agree with Malcolm. The Bass Reeves episode was really cool. We were up in Canada, and snow was not written in the script, and it ended up snowing that episode. And we were kind of all scratching our heads thinking how are we going to do snow with a Western? And then it ended up being awesome. And some of the shots we shot at this massive rock quarry where we were on the horses. There was snow on the mountains around us, and it just ended up being this beautiful, scenic, amazing episode.
And it only happened because that actor was sick, right, for 3 days, and we had to film it, and then there was snow all of a sudden.
Yeah, Daniel was ridiculously sick, and so we had to wait it out. And by the time we came back, it was snowing. Yeah. And so when you see us all wearing blankets and stuff, it's because we're cold. We're just like, and I was the coldest. So if you see, like, everybody did like real cool shit where they like left their blankets under. And if you look at the scene, I'm just under the blanket the entire time. I'm just wearing a blanket.
Do you remember when I had an electric blanket to be sitting under at one of those exterior locations, and you guys were so mad at me? You're like, why didn't we get the electric? I was like, I didn't know you wanted it.
Yeah, I always wanted an electric blanket. From now on, I put an electric blanket clause in all of my future projects as a result of
I think
time.
you're referring to the moment we were out like in a rock quarry and we're all freezing, laying on stone. And we get out there and Abby's got an electric blanket, like from her own generator. We're like, what? What is happening? Me and Malcolm had hot pockets. They're like this big and they go in your pocket.
I actually can't remember the series of events, but I think I'd like casually mentioned, and they only got one.
It's very casual. My other favorite location was probably the 80s ones, but only because I got to play Miss Pac-Man all day.
Goran, what about you? Did you have a favorite location to work in?
Yeah, I have to say I was pestering these poor guys for horses. I was like, guys, come on, let's just go someplace that we can use horses, we can ride horses. And then Bass Reeves episodes was because Daniel Lessing was sick. He got virus or whatever. I mean, and we were delayed and the snow came, and what Matt said, it was just magical. It was really insane. And then that morning we came on set with the horses, and now we need to go through this big patch of grass yesterday, but now it's just snow. So we don't know where the holes are and whatever. And they say, you guys, you have like 10 minutes to shoot, yes or no? And we're like, yeah, let's go. It was just, and everything worked out. It just worked out. It was really magical. And I used my own saddle and the horse that I rode probably 50 times through the years because my friend was the stunt coordinator. So it was a special episode, a very, very special episode.
Goran would always get the man award for the show, just in general. The manliest man out of the
most masculine.
Let me fix my sunglasses here.
I'd want to ask Sakina, Claudia, and Patterson about it, but you mostly were in a bunker most of the time. Just to ask something different, Sakina, for the episode with the flashback, did you coordinate with Karen David on your performance at all? Did you guys talk and kind of figure it out? Oh, you're muted. There you go. Zoom.
Yeah. I met with her and hung out, and we became fast friends. And I think she listened to the way I talked. She watched my mannerisms, and no, she was just dreamy to play a younger version of me. Dreamy.
Yeah.
Really. So,
Patterson, for you, this isn't exactly related, but I'm curious. Everyone else kind of gets their happy ending in the finale, but we don't really hear what happens with Connor Mason. Do you have an idea of what you want to see? Did he come up with that one great new invention? Did he take up blues producing full time? Where is he in 2023?
You know, there's a strange thing about being an actor. Sounds terribly cynical, but once you've finished a job, you often just go and put it somewhere in a cupboard. And then somebody reminds you, did I shoot that? What did I say? Who was I? So this is a hard question to answer. I think I had lots of ideas at the time. Now my mind's a complete blank. I think I was sort of following the Elon Musk thing. I'll probably be on Mars now. I think that's probably what he would have done. He would have redeemed himself somehow with dismantling Rittenhouse, and then he would have sort of climbed back on the billionaire bandwagon and been Elon Musk. He'd been on Mars, yeah, heading for Venus somewhere.
Yeah, and not for nothing, I just want to give a shout out to you and Goran. I believe you're on GMT right now, so it is very late for you. So thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Claudia, we got this question a couple of times, and I don't know if this is for you or necessarily for Eric or Sean, but another one of the dangling things from the finale is Gia's visions aren't really dealt with at all. You know, we have them throughout season 3. They seem to be developing, but I think by necessity, they're kind of left out of the finale because it probably would have made things too complicated. Do you know if there was a plan for them potentially going forward?
That's not a question for me.
All right. Eric, Sean?
I mean, I do know that, you know, with only having a really limited time to do the Christmas movie, there were all sorts of storylines that had to sort of get parked. I can't remember what specific Vision storyline we were going to track through
Open
season
the file.
3.
Open
I looked in the file. The file is just like different historical ideas. There's nothing that exciting. There's nothing that exciting in there.
The file just says Michael Jordan Beethoven.
But Sean, do you remember? Because I do remember having conversations about where we were going to track her vision. I just can't, for the life of me, remember what they were.
I remember we had some conversations about what the visions would be. Would this turn into a regular thing that could, launch more stories? But we didn't go into great detail. And we also, here's something Eric taught me, because I'm always sort of a bit of a completionist, and I wanted, everything to sort of be addressed. And Eric would be like, no, they won't pick you up if you answer every single question there is to answer. So definitely leave some cliffhangers out there for them. And I think Gia's visions were one of those things where we're like, hey, you got to pick us up for a season 3 before you get your answers on that. And they were like, no, thank you.
This is also on the looking forward thing, and we touched on this a little bit, but there was a poll put up on the Play Per View Twitter asking about that teaser in the finale with Paulita, with her kind of sketching out different designs of a potential lifeboat. They all believe that she built it. Do you have an idea in your mind? I'm not even necessarily asking what that idea is, but do you know which direction it would go in?
Well, listen, my take on that, and everyone's entitled to their own interpretation. Just because I, as one of the writers, think it's this way doesn't mean it has to be this way for people. But my interpretation was that our time team was putting the lifeboat away. The mothership had been destroyed. The genie was back in the bottle. But since that knowledge is achievable, that knowledge will come to somebody else at some point. And so. So I always took that as, time travel's not over with. Time travel hasn't been put into a closet. There's some next generation that's coming up that's going to do that. I also want to point out a little Easter egg is my wife, Kathy, who's an actress. She actually did the voice of the mother in that scene. So I think my wife actually has the final line of the series to date.
Aww.
We're unfortunately going to have to wrap up pretty soon, so we only have time for about 1 or 2 more questions. This is one for Eric, and it's not strictly a timeless question, but are we going to see Malcolm's Vought PR guy Seth and Claudia's Victoria Newman meet at some point in The Boys?
I was just thinking about that earlier. Not this season, but there's always the chance their heads do not explode like Goran's in last season, which sometimes we called because Claudia blows up his head at the end of season 2. So I would always think about it as like Gia's revenge. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil that shit, but yeah. But it was always I kind of love that, even though they didn't shoot it at the same time, like they got one full scene together. So
sorry, Goran.
Last question for you guys, we'll wrap up, and I feel like the audience is going to hate this one, but this made me laugh so much. Erica Rubinski wants to know, what's everyone's kitchen utensil that you can't live without?
What?
It didn't seem to be connected to anything.
A potato, I can say that immediately, a potato masher. Potato masher.
Steak knife.
You've hit
Garlic.
Patterson's sweet spot.
Garlic press.
Wasn't there some kind of reference to the lifeboat looking like a cheese grater?
Ooh, but that really good handheld one. There's a really good one that's like a slim design.
Yeah.
That cheese grater. That one.
I like whisks and cutting boards now. Cutting boards are so versatile.
I thought you were a whisk man.
Who is Malcolm?
Yeah.
Who is Malcolm now? Knowing
he cooks now.
Whisk.
Malcolm, are you wood chopping board or plastic? You don't care?
No, I don't care. It's just kind of, I've been using it. If I had a wood one, I'd use it.
I've got 5 of them. I love them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm an ex-chef, and chopping boards are my thing.
I'm cutting stuff all day now.
I've got different sizes. I've even got a tiny little one if I just want to do a bit of cheese.
Yeah, I get it. Wait,
I will say.
What about Abby? What about Abby?
Abby, yes.
What's Abby's kitchen implement?
The button on the Nespresso machine.
But Here's one thing I'll say: you're all sleeping on the air fryer. The air fryer
I have
has
one.
been a transformative
No.
experience.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh wow! I
Anyway,
changed my answer. I
it'll
changed my
change-
answer.
yeah, it's a transformative moment.
Okay.
I'm a new person after that air
Thank you
fryer.
for that gift. Thank you for the gift. Thank you.
Yes. Those were all amazing answers. I do think people would kill me if I didn't have done an actual timeless question. So just to kind of wrap up here, because all of these clock blockers did come out, did such an incredible job donating to Feeding America and everything else. And all of you did an amazing job. Do any of you have any final thoughts for the timeless fandom going forward? Things that you would want to say to them, express to them, anything like that? No pressure, but make it good.
I would say just thank you for everyone, sticking with us and being a fan and watching. We've got 2 seasons and a movie for you guys to watch, and then it's yours now. Like, dream it up, come up with your own stories.
I mean, I'd like to say that I really appreciate everybody's passion and commitment to it, and fandoms have a way of, in a weird way, of like reflecting the actual show you're making, I found, and this is a show and a fandom was about and is about inclusiveness and diversity and friendship at a time when we desperately needed it. And so I'm really proud of the show for putting some positivity into what was at the time a really negative world, and for the fandom to reflect that really always meant the world to me. So thank you.
Yeah, well said. Thank all of you so much. Shout out to everybody here on the panel. Thank you to Eric, Sean, Matt, Claudia, Patterson, Sakina, Goran, Annie, Clock Blockers, I think is this guy's
Abby,
name.
you skipped Abby. Thank you to Abby.
No, and Abby. I got Malcolm is first on mine. And Abby, thank you all so much. You're all amazing. And a couple of quick notes for all of you at the end here. That is all the time, no pun intended, we have for tonight's event. Thank you all for tuning in. Your amazing questions. And if you have some fellow clock blockers who couldn't make it, the event will be on demand until January 27th. Current participants will get a link later this evening. You can also find out about upcoming events at play-purview, PERVIEW.com. And you can donate to feedingamerica.org at literally any time. See you all in 2023. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Good
Hey,
night,
guys.
everybody.
You're all wonderful.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Be well,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you, guys. Good
Thanks.
luck.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
everyone.